All right, guys. This video I'm going to be, you know, explaining to us psychological levels, what psychological levels are, and how we can apply them to trading, using them as confluences. And also, in this video, I'll be, taking more examples on trendline confluence as well. So, yeah, if you at any point don't get whatever I'm saying in the video, you can, you know, um backward it and listen to it again. All right. So it's very simple. Even the use of trend line is also very simple um stuff. All right. So I believe you will understand it. Just pay attention. So this is GBP USD. I'm just gonna be drawing them. Just want to teach you how to bring them up. You understand, and maybe how you can also confluence it with your Fibonacci area and all of that, and see how it tallies. You understand? So that's just it. Uh, you always want to look for your psychological levels at areas of price. All right, psychological levels are round numbers. All right, the basic idea behind psychological level is, for example, when you go to the market and you want to buy something, you want to buy a product, whether you want to buy a phone, you want to buy any type of electronics, you want to buy anything at all that you want to buy, but then you ask for the price and then they tell you that the price of this commodity, let's say for example, an earpiece, okay, a Bluetooth earpiece. They tell you that the price of this Bluetooth earpiece is going for 15 $29. Okay. Well, you'll be like, okay, why not give it to me for $15? You get the point. So you're trying to round up the numbers. It's all about rounding up numbers. You get, instead of buying at a price that includes some sort of fraction, but you want to round it up to a whole number. You want to round it up to a number that it's easier for you to, like, recollect or something like that. Okay. And if the seller wants to round up the number or whatever in whatever discussion you guys are having, the seller might, okay, why not I give it to you for a price of 15.50. You get. All right. So it's just like that. Another example could be like you want to buy an iPhone that sells for, let's say, 850 USD or 856 USD, for example, and then you want to get it, but you're allowed to price, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna take this iPhone, but I'm going to give you 850 USD. Now you are taking out that fraction of 6 USD. All right, and then you are rounding it up to what, 850 USD. So it's all about rounding up numbers from by 50s or by hundreds. All right, so you could probably say, okay, let me pay you 800 and let me pay you 850, or let me pay you 800 USD. You get. So that is it. And also maybe you want to buy it for nine, they are selling for 900 USD. You could probably price it for 800 USD. And then the seller could say, okay, give me 850. You get. So the numbers goes between 50 to 100, between 50 to 100. Difference is between 50 to 100. So in your actual trading chart, it's that round number goes between 50 pips. 50 pips. You can do 100 pips. But every psychological level, the difference between one psychological level to a successful psychological level is, to a successive psychological level, is 50 pips. Okay, now let me demonstrate this. This is a psychological level. This one I've already plotted here. This is a psychological level. Let me take it to the actual value. The actual value is 1.3. 1.3, you get 1.300, 1.300. So now the next thing you are going to be doing, all right, 1.300. The next thing you are going to be doing is that when you are calculating your pips, you know that this, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, something's probably going on. So when you are calculating your pips, you know that when you are calculating your pips, this last value is not always included. That's why it's called the pipet. All right, but you start calculating your pip from this value. All right, uh-huh, backwards. Okay, so if I want to add 50 to this, it's simply like I'll add 50 but not including this. So if I add 50 to this value, 1.30000, we have four zeros here. Eliminating the last zero, we have just three zeros. So if I add 50 to this, it will be 1.3050. I hope you get the point. So with more example, you tend to understand it. So let me put another psychological level. I'll click on my line and then I'll drop it somewhere here, and then I'll go to my coordinates and then I will edit the value 50. All right, 50. That's it. I've added a psychological level, and this is where the psychological level is at. All right, 50. Okay. So the next psychological level that I will be adding again will be somewhere here, moving. Like I said, you always want to do it around where there is price, but you don't have to add a lot of psychological level. You can always add just that one that confluences with where price is at the moment that you want to trade. It's part of just your confluence and confirmation. So yeah, what you want to do here again is that since you already have added 50, the next thing you are going to add is another 50. When you add another 50, you are going to have 1.3100. So you do the maths, and then you'll be adding 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. It gets, so I don't know if somebody is confusing. Let me just launch a calculator so we can do it. This one will be just for the psychological levels, and then I will record another video for Trendline. Now, calculator, because I don't want it to be very long. Calculator. Trendline is something that a lot of us have been used to, so I don't really think it's going to be difficult for anyone. However, I'm going to be recording that. I'm going to be recording that. So where is my calculator? So if I have price to be 1.300, remember that usually the last zero we used to we for currency pairs, most currency pairs except JPY pairs, we have five decimal places, which is after the decimal, after the points, you have um 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. But this last one is called the pipette. This last one is called the pipette. So you always want to remove it. All right. So you will now have 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you are calculating your pip, if I add 1, if here becomes 1, that is the price has moved up 1 pip. All right. If I add 2, here it becomes 2. Price has moved up 2 pips. You get? Then so on and so forth. Now, I want to add 50. Adding 50 to this, I'm not going to just say plus 50 because this is 1.30000. All right. My 50 pips actually should be what? 0.0050. Why? Because I have to consider the decimal uh, points. Okay, more like I'm teaching you how to calculate pips, which is not what I'm supposed to teach, but no problem. Let's just do it. So I'll say plus 0.0050. Are you saying? So it becomes 1.305 because the computer doesn't even know that it's pips. So it's ignoring the other zero because yeah, it's inconsequential according to mathematics. But here it's not just like ordinary maths, we are calculating money here, right? So that is it. Now the next thing is that if I want to add another 50, which is another 50 pips, I'll say 0.00, right? 50. You see 1.31. In the charts we have it as 1.3100. Okay, this is actually how it is done. And if you can look very close, 1.3100. Remember, you are ignoring this zero, and this was 1.3050. So another one can be like this one I've already plotted. Let me delete it and let's plot another one again. Moving forward, you don't only move forward, you can also move backward. All right. So this is a 1.3. Since we have 1 0 here, if you add 50 becomes 150. 150. Okay, we are not considering the pips, remember, so this is 4 decimal place. And you have it exactly at this point. So let's say we want to go back downwards. We can say, okay, since we are going back downwards and this is 1.300, that means you are expecting to have something like 1.29 something, 2950 actually. So you have something like this, 0.2950. This is how you plot your psychological level. So if I want to check the psychological levels now, you'll see that from this point, um from this point to this point, you're having 50 pips. Approximately, yeah, 50 pips. This 49.8, that's because I'm just using this thing. But it's 50 pips, you can see it. So it's 50 pips. From one psychological level to another psychological level is 50 pips. Now, what you have to note is that psychological level is not that you just put a value anywhere. Okay, it's not like you put a number anywhere and then you add 50 to it. No. If you are not getting it, now look at this place, 1.30154. This is not a psychological level. Now, the psychological level is that you want to round this up to a closest whole number. What whole number is closest to this psychological level? If you want to round up this number to 1.3100, is far away. So your closest round number is 1.3050, which is a psychological level. So you take it up, or if you want to take it down, it becomes what? 1.3000. That means you will remove this one and turn everything here to what? To be 000. Are you getting? Which is what we have here. So let's say you want to buy something and they say that the price is 1.30154 or thereabouts. Well, you say, okay, I'm not paying these fractions. I'm just going to pay 1.3, which is this. All right. Or you want to sell something and the person says they are buying it for 1.30154, and you say, no, I'm not going to sell for that amount. I'm going to sell for what? 1.3050. So you are either going down, rounding it downwards to the closest whole number, or you taking it upwards to the closest whole number. That is what it is. I don't know how to explain it further again, because I think I've really explained it even with this example that I've been plotting. If you don't get it, each time you come to your computer and you want to plot and you probably see something like 1.3020, know that the next psychological level you should be looking at should be what? 1.3. You know that the psychological level you should be looking at for this case should be 1.3050 or 1.3000, as the case may be, depending on what's on your chart. Okay, so that's it. That's basically what it is. Now, how do you use it in confluence with your Fibonacci? Let's say this is a trend line. I've taught you guys break of structure, all right, previous class. So look at what's happening here. So this structure broke for the first time, and someone can say it broke for the second time, of course. But although on the higher time frame we are still having equal lows, which it has not been taken out. So there's still every tendency that this market can go up, but this is not a typical price. If somebody wants to trade this, somebody could probably be looking for a short-term sell and wait to see if the price is going to give us a long-term buy. All right. Looking at what price has created here, if I'm teaching you breakout, I see that price has created some sort of consolidation around here, and it has broken out of the consolidation. Now, if price comes around this zone and then try to find supports here, then this will probably be a buy for a short term for the now, before it retraces and give us a long term buy. All right. So, um, as a trader, the the only thing I'm going to be looking at to do here is to see if this will hold so I can buy. All right, for day traders. Now, trying to sell this market may not really be good, although this is a sell trend. But based on the fact that this market is still creating equal lows around here, I will probably want to see this low taken out before I will look for a sell. All right, so every trader knows how they take their trades. Okay, so before I will look for a sell, I want to see this low taken out and then probably take a sell with a retracement. All right, except you have a strategy that allows you to sell this trade here that the price is at, fine. But for me, based on the fact that price has broken to the upside and we had a little range, and this range is not really lower time frame, just lower time frame. Look at this, is 1 hour time frame. So having some this type of range and break to the upside, I think price have to come into this place to an extent, establish. If it does establish, then you can buy it from here and go all the way up. All right. There's a trend line here as well, so which might trigger a fallback. But for now, I'll be looking at this price if there's a point to take an entry for a buy. And if you look at here too, there's a psychological level. For this psychological level, um, for me, can be very useless if I have nothing to confluence this with. Alright, because looking at this, the psychological level got broken to the upside, alright, and then now it's being retested, which also is pointing to me that price may want to go up. Alright, being the fact that the psychological level got broken, not rejected, but broken. So that is it. So looking at this now, if I want to find an entry for a sell, looking at what's here, this is not a typical setup anyway. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look for price to be in the Willis zone, at the same time confluencing with a psychological level, which there's no psychological level confluencing around here. There is only one got broken and is outside the Willis zone, Remember, the psychological level must be within the Willis zone or at the OTE level. All right. The OTE level is simply 0.786. You can change the name to OTE. You can name it OCE in your settings. You can name this to Willis 2, then this Willis 1. Depends on you. But it's still okay if it is 0.5 and all of that, except you want to code it so that others don't know what you're doing when you are drawing your feed. Then you can use Willis 1, Willis 2, OTE, all of that. So when you place your charts, people will be able to understand what you are trying to actually, do. But that's by the way. So price, there's no confluence here. So you actually can't sell this market. So, but let's take a typical market where you can actually sell or buy, as the case may be. Let's look for maybe, I don't know, Euro USD. Um, let's check. Let's see. Okay, Euro USD is actually changing. The trend is actually changing for the upside. All right, and yeah, from what I'm seeing, trend is changing. Right, it has broken the first structure and broken the second structure. Um, but this is 1 hour time frame. This is 1 hour. So if you want to really be, certain of what's up, you should wait for structures to be, broken on the 4 hour time frame, because we are starting a new trend. If we are going to start going up, then you want to see the trend being established. So therefore, you want to see this high being taken out. You want to see price take out this high, and yeah, that is it. And then you start looking to go up. So, but then let's see how we would have taken trade with Euro USD sells. If we want to sell Euro USD now, what we are going to do is that we are going to, draw our fib to the, bottom, from top to bottom. Like I said, you draw the impulse leg. All right. So now that we have drawn the impulse leg from top to bottom, and then we are looking to, sell this market. Our area of focus is the Willis zone. And like I thought yesterday, there could be some sort of, a breaker around here, which we are seeing here. And the same place confluences at the same zone where we had price breakout from when we were trading, and then we saw trend line. We saw a trend line got broken. Saw that the trend line got broken. Not just that, there's um a breaker block. A break As at then it was just an order block. So it got broken. It got broken. It was an order block which is to be respected, but now it's a breaker block because it got broken. Now that is broken, price can come back to it, confluencing with the Willis zone and fall down to the downside. So now, how do you also now check? Because first of all, it's a break of the trend line, all right, happening around there, and then there's an order block which is now a breaker broke and is confluencing with the Willis zone. The next thing you are going to be doing is that you are going to um, get your line to know if there's a psychological level. Just place it anywhere around here. Once you've placed it, go to your settings. Go to your settings. Now, what you are looking at is that you delete this. All right. Now you want to round this number up to the nearest 50. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to, if you add the nearest 50 or the nearest whole number rather, you discover that you are going to get 1.1. All right. Just add 1 to this. You're going to get 1.1 when you are rounding it up. So that's just this 1.1. All right, and you see it confluences with a psychological level. So when price eventually comes to this zone, I'll be looking to what, to see if I can sell. All right. So now, how do I look out for myself when price eventually comes to this zone? How I look out for myself will be that I will draw a box like I was telling you guys yesterday. I'll draw a box and I will then extend it a little bit, like the box will be from the psychological level. I'll extend it a little bit. Just maybe like this, like maybe halfway of this place. Uh-huh. Because it's something I want to see how price reacts inside. By the time price gets to this box, I can change the color. I can change it to blue, and then I'll probably go to, not actually probably, I don't like this blue. Take it to this color. I'll just switch to the 15 minutes time frame. What am I doing on the 15 minutes time frame? On the 15 minutes time frame, I'm actually watching out for price. The 15 minutes time frame. I want to see how price reacts here. When I get 3 to 4 rejections in this box, price not closing above this box, that is where I'll make my entry. And based on this is fib 0.618. My SL can be here, and you know that there was a recent high here too, which okay is this. So above is also above the psychological level, and then above this. So I could be having maybe a stop loss of around 15 pips also. I don't know. Depends on where I enter. Let's say I make my entry at the neck of this line. My stop loss could be here, all right? Could be here, all right? Yeah. So sorry, the stop loss is really looking huge, but nonetheless, that's actually what you can do. But if you want to take it a bit a risky stop loss, you can go, since price has been rejecting here, you can also place your stop loss here, which gives you around 23 pips. Why? Because this is the highest high of that structural block that got broken, and this is a psychological level, and price is rejecting around it. So you can as well say, okay, let's just say that price is rejecting, and then you fix it somewhere here. All right, 27 pips. All right, it's always good that even if here is your area of focus, that price will be rejecting us, because price can actually go above it with wick and come back. So you always need to put a reasonable stop loss so that it doesn't take you out with wick and eventually go into your direction. So yeah, that's it. And you can target all the way down here. Yeah, you can target all the way down here. And this is how you can take advantage of this trade. Now, how is this only going to be possible? Because when you are taking trade, you are also going to be when you're taking trade, you're also going to be, analyzing for directions that can go against you. What are the directions that can go against you? So therefore, because you are analyzing for directions that can go against you, what will make this trade not to work? Now, if there's something here, if there's something, if this price breaks this zone, hmm, if this price breaks this zone, breaks it immediately, and maybe stop somewhere here before retracing down and then eventually coming back to this point. Just know that price would scarcely hard not get to this point. It might just retrace a little bit based on what's here and then break it eventually. So this is how price reacts. But if price should spike immediately and get to this point, there's a every high tendency that price can get back to this zone before going up. So that's also how you analyze the market. So as time goes on, we will be analyzing and see how we can analyze the market against us, right? So that's it. And if you look, there's something like price is creating more like price is creating a counter trend line to the upside. Okay, if I put this here and take it here, I can see that price is creating something like a counter trend line, which is what I'm supposed to be teaching you. All right. So I said I'll make a different video, but there's no point. Let me just finish up this everywhere, everything here. So yeah, this is how you basically draw your trend line. All right, it's no big deal. So yeah, and for this one that we're looking at, I drew this trend line from higher time frame. I talk about confluences. First of all, we had the Willis zone around here. Second of all, we had a breaker block here. Thirdly, there's a psychological level. Now there's a trend line. It depends on how price eventually gets here. What if price eventually takes its time and gets here and then hitting this trend line? Meaning that price, we are now having what? Four of our confluences together in one trade. Okay, and when you have this trade, be rest assured that even if price doesn't really go far so much, you eventually get some pips out of it. So that's how it is. So it can be a losing trade with all four confluences together, except you mismanage the position. So, or maybe there's fundamental influence. All right, so that's it. How did I draw this trend line? Like I told us yesterday, sometimes you may want to go to different higher, bigger time frames to draw your trend lines. So I drew that trend line. Of course, I'm having two trend lines here. So I picked I first of all picked pick this point and put it to this point. Okay. Now there's another point again, this point and this point. I drew it out. This is how you draw your trend line. Okay, so how do I draw my trend line? Okay, let's go to the 4 hourly time frame. Let me show you a typical example, and a very simpler one for you to understand, like this one that I drew here. All right, you could see what I did. Trend line is all about picking swings, okay, whether swing highs or swing low. When I want to draw this trend line, I picked here. This is a swing low. You are drawing the wick from this wick, all right, to this wick. Okay, and then when just two, you're only focusing on um two previous swings before the current one. As price is approaching, you draw on the previous ones and then wait to see if price is going to what, get to it and bounce off of it. All right. And when we came in, we saw that price broke the trend line and also broke this. Actually traded this here because it's a breakout, and that's how you also, when you understand this, you can also trade breakout because yeah, price has broken a trend line and has broken the only thing that you think would hold trade has been broken. At least you can sell up to this point. All right, this is 4 hourly time frame. If you're a day trader, you should know that from here to here is a lot of profit. Okay, so that is it. How do I draw my trend line? Another trend line that you can see one high, you can see another high. You connect the two of them together. This is one high, right? And this is another high. Connect it together and extend it to the future. And this is how you draw your trend line. All right. You can see that price came, tried to break this, and then it held. Now, how did this price even confluence with our this thing, our way method of trading? Look at what happened. This is a swing, although this came down, broke this, go down. This broke this, and yeah, this made equal lows, but this broke it. So this is a swing. So from this swing now, this is an impulse leg. To this swing, we are having the Willis zone. So price got to the Willis zone. At the same time, the trend line is there. Okay, and this is this is a counter trend line, right? which is supposed to bounce off of it because we are in a sell position. We are selling, and then the trend line is what is showing a slight increase in the buy side to the buy side. So price came to it. So first of all, we have determined that this is sell, first break, second break, and yeah, this was the impulse leg that broke this low because even this and this are equal lows, but this was taken out. So as it was taken out, and then price came down immediately, even though there's still some sort of stuff around here. But yeah, this is the impulse leg. So you draw up. Somebody can even draw here, like I was telling you guys, it's most times subjective. It's still the same. So you draw it, you can draw it from here based on the fact that this is all the same thing, this area, right? But this one impulse leg. Okay. So what do you do next? Because you've drawn it and price is here and the trend line is also confluencing it. We bring out what our horizontal line. We drop it here and then we go to our coordinates. What is the closest psychological level? Remember, you delete this. 82, is it closer to 100 or is it closer to 50? Which one is it closer to? Is it not 100 that is closer to? So we round up this thing to 100. If we round up 82 to 100, what are we going to be getting? We are going to be getting 100 plus 100, which is what, 200. So 1.12. You can see that there's a confluence. Now, what other confluence are we looking out for? This area, when we go to the daily time frame, there's an order block here. All right, there's an order block there. Okay, all of these are things that enable you to take trade. Okay, so yeah, I have yeah, some breaker blocks. Sorry, let's go back to the 4 hourly time frame. Okay, so I have some breaker block around here. If I should take this trade, if I should take this trade, this is a breaker block. Yeah. So is with time you get to understand these things very well. And yeah, this is a breaker block. This is a breaker block. And based on the fact that price has been trending up, trending up, trending up, how do you take this trade on the lower time frame? How do you take this trade on the lower time frame? These are the things you will learn as time goes on. Let me not put too much knowledge. So yeah, psychological levels, thoughts, trend line, thoughts, do your revision, mark your charts. On your charts, use a Euro USD chart, a GBP USD chart, and any other chart. So three different charts: GBP USD chart, Euro USD chart, and any other chart you like. Plot your psychological levels on those three different charts for me, and then use the same Euro USD chart, GBP USD chart, and any other chart, and plot some trend lines. Okay, yeah, and then try to on your own try to confluence it with fib level and trend line and all of that. As you can see, most of the time that this thing they all meet together, most of the time that they meet together, you see that price eventually drops mad. And looking at this, even if you miss it here, there's a way you could have entered here. I was telling someone I took this trade around here too, took it around here as well. So all of that is something you learn and you see all of this. So as time goes on, you will learn better and will learn more. Thank you. Do your assignments. The next class is we are going to be, exploring this breaker block, other block, and the rest of them. So as time goes on, these things will start making sense to you. Okay, and that is it. And I'm signing out.